We're live. Oh my god. I guess I'll hit the intro video then.
Give it 1 minute.
All right.
I don't know if if people will be eager to join us tonight because it's been a little bit. I'm gonna put a notice out on Twitter that we're live.
Water. Isn't that just where presidents go to yell at people?
Let's see if anybody shows up. I usually put the notice out earlier in the day, so I might have fucked us. But whatever, we take the audio anyway and turn it into the non-live podcast, so it doesn't totally matter. Just be screaming into the void, and that's fine too.
We can O'Reilly this fucker.
All
right.
Yeah, go for it. Start it up. Let's do this. Make it happen.
It's almost like an actual edition.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Oh, there you are. There's one of our guys who's always there. Hi, buddy. Hey, welcome to episode 273 of the Hooniverse podcast. How's it going?
Great.
It's been a while since I've seen Chris.
Yeah, because we did the SEMA, and then I had to tear everything down and put everything back together in the studio here, and
Right.
and then I got sick, and now we're back.
And we have a guest, Mr. Patrick Costello. Thank you for joining us again.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.
You guys heard him before. What was
yes.
that, like 3 months ago?
Yeah, a little while
Maybe
ago.
like that. And this is your third time on?
Yeah, we did the one down at
Hey,
Four
Miles.
Sons
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
where we ate pizza.
Oh, yes.
Pizza delivery.
That was good. That was good stuff. So you're back again. We don't
Yes.
have an agenda for this evening. I'm going to kind of meander around, which always makes for the worst shows, but don't worry about that. That's not your fault. That's my fault. I'll
do my best.
Prepared. I'm just happy to be back in the studio. I like doing the video format. And it's good stuff. So here we go. Let's dive right into it. Whenever you're on, we like to talk about car shows.
I like to talk about them too. So
That's your jam.
So
It is.
who do you
Yeah.
hate the most?
Who do
It
you
is.
hate the most? Yeah.
Who do you hate the most?
I hate everybody equally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that was my old line from high school. I'm like, I don't hate any one group. I hate everybody just the same.
No, I don't fill my heart with hate.
I like that.
I love everybody.
How did season 2 go? What can you tell? I mean, how did it go? You can say it went well.
It's like season 2. It's like a sequel of a big movie. I mean, everything was bigger.
Season 2 of Truck Night in America. I should
Yeah,
say.
so I make a show called Truck Night in America, and it's big and fun and for everybody. And it's a lot of fun to make, it's a lot of fun to watch. And we just this summer we wrapped season 2, and I'm in post-production right now on it. I have no idea if I should look at you or the camera or what, but
You can look at us. It's fine.
Okay. So yeah, and it was big. Everything, trucks are bigger, contestants are bigger personalities, the airtime was bigger, the course was a bit bigger, the challenges were definitely much crazier.
And you still, good for you guys for not delving into the whole. You never said we need to add more of a false drama build element. Like everything
No.
seems real.
It is real. Everything is real.
You've had 2 special episodes, which aren't part of season 2, but were kind of shot during season
Yeah.
2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Technically part of season 1, but we shot them during our season.
what tell us about those episodes?
Well, there were 2 episodes that were exclusively Fords, which was interesting for me to learn about all the nuances in Ford trucks from the sort of 60s and 70s.
By nuances, do you mean great disparities in terms of build tolerances?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm not shitting on them. I mean, just of the era.
You know, people have certain things that they love, and some people love bump sides, and some people love dent sides, and some people, and there's
it's like
differences
when-
within them, and
it's
I
like
just
when
learned about all
Jeff had his truck. I mean, it was just like from one year to the next, there'd be like a completely different design on one part that makes no sense at all. And
Yeah.
it only did it for 1 year.
But the good thing is, underneath it was the same until like Tuesday. So
What did you
could
have?
fix
What kind
it
of
at
truck did you have?
65,
Oh, right on.
custom cab, long bed. So yeah, but like it would not have done well on your course.
You'd be
No,
surprised.
it was minus engine and exhaust stuff. It was stock
Okay.
running gear. It wasn't even 4-wheel drive.
When
Yeah.
fresh off SEMA, just outside of where we had the podcast studio and stage set up with Magnaflow, Classic Car Studios, the guys behind Speed is the New Black, which I'll give you the story behind that.
Sounds exciting.
But they had an F100 there that was the most immaculate truck I think I've ever seen. much carbon fabrication that you wouldn't even know was carbon. And every single person in SEMA couldn't manage to keep their goddamn hands off of the car.
Oh, wow.
In the middle of the podcast, you could just hear us yelling at people, "Get your hands off the truck!"
I drove their '86 Chevy, and it was awesome. So, I mean, I'm sure for more of a showpiece truck, it was probably wild. So, I watched the first episode of the half season, the special season, we'll call it, and it was great to see the fours getting bashed. Like right off the bat, you beat the shit out of the trucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's the real deal. Not everybody realizes that when they show up, but I mean, right from go, that first challenge is gnarly.
How many waivers are there where like you're gonna break your truck? Like you have to. Do people like, nah, it's I got it, it's fine? Do people not think they're gonna break their truck and then they break their truck?
Sometimes, season 2 people had a pretty good idea of what they were getting into. Some people did builds exclusively for the show.
Oh, really?
It's cool to see. People are like, I built this, I did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, after one season,
specifically come on the show. So that's great, but there's one waiver, and you sign it. And what's amazing about the show is people show up and they're like, they'll do a challenge, maybe 2 or 3. They'll break something and go out, and they will say, "I have never had more fun."
That's good.
Yeah, and we help them out. I mean, we'll
drive shafts are cheap. You don't even need to lift your truck up because you can just lean under and fix things.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
Jimmy, get the roller.
Yeah.
And if it's simple stuff, we'll help them fix it. It's all off camera to
nice.
Get them home. So it's like as long as it's not.
Oh, the good thing is they're trucks, so most of the parts are readily available.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then do you have any idea when season 2 might air?
Rough
estimate.
Currently looking at the end of January.
Also, disclaimer. I might be in the credits.
Yes, possibly.
I might have written some info
before the podcast started. I was frantically emailing somebody in post, being like, "Check the credits, see if Jeff Clucker's in there."
Yeah, I helped out with some of the information on the trucks this season, so that was fun. So thank you for letting me do that, Patrick. If you haven't seen Patrick on the podcast or heard Patrick on the podcast before, sorry about that. That's my phone, not on vibrate. Rookie. If you haven't heard or seen Patrick on the podcast before, we met from working together on some Top Gear stuff, which was I got a credit there as well. Season 7. We always get this confused, right? Season 7.
Technically, it was, I think, season 5, but they had a season 4 was like a 2-parter. So some places it's season 6.
It was the last 5. Good season.
Last season on History Channel.
The last
with Tanner and Adam.
Did they try and revive that again? I can't even remember.
I don't even know.
BBC America revived it with all different hosts, and they did one season. And I
was like, if that was a thing that was coming, or if it had already come and gone.
Oh, it came and went.
Okay.
Came and went.
Okay.
So I guess I didn't check it out, but I guess the numbers didn't warrant a second season.
Yeah. The other note that we should probably mention that I don't think we've talked about since it happened is Zach took over as one of the hosts on Drive.
Yes.
So
that hasn't happened since we've been on?
We've not done a show together since that happened.
We've been gone for a while. I just want to give a quick shout out for a super chat. You just came out of nowhere, SkiBum291, to saying he gave us a very healthy super chat amount. He said this is for the Happy Holiday Burnout video, which means I have to go and shoot one of those now. I'll probably reuse footage from the season, because we've got some good ones in there. I'm trying to think if I have anything coming up where I can do a burnout in it. I'm driving the new Ranger next week, and if I can get a rear-wheel drive version of that, I'll try to sneak off and do a burnout of that.
Even if it's a 4-wheel drive, you'll be able to switch it into rear only.
I should be able to. Yeah. Right. For sure. I'm trying to think of what else I might be getting. Oh, DBS Superleggera. Never mind. We got one coming.
Yeah.
and my very good friend who used to work there no longer works there, so he doesn't care. He liked the burnouts anyway, but it's less of a matter now. So we're good to go. So that'll be good. So thank you, Ski Bum, very much appreciated. So yes, Zach is a host on, not to slide off of your show.
No,
you're still in post. Anyway,
we're still in post.
That's TV lingo, guys.
We're finishing it up.
I'm a Big Shot pro now.
You can tell by the exclusive studio space here.
Yeah, which we couldn't figure out how to angle the table to the camera earlier. Zach is a host on Drive. I haven't watched any of it yet, so have you seen it?
I was there. There was a bit of a showing party for that. Cool.
Yeah. We'll tell him thanks for inviting me.
Well, it was his girlfriend put together a little thing, so I don't know that she had your info.
I'm just kidding.
So I'll make sure you
get invited to shit.
I'll make sure you get to the next
I don't
one.
get invited to anything. It's fine.
Hey, I got left out.
Wait, did you just come from something?
Yeah, but it was a automaker thing.
And I just got bumped from something over the weekend, so don't worry about it. We're taking our hits left and right.
Nice.
So but yeah, Zach took over. He did one episode that was an off-road.
Right.
It was off-road with Alex and Spinelli. And it was Zach was in an aerial Atom. Or
Yep.
not an Atom.
A Nomad.
Nomad rather. This different between the two, really.
Yeah, it's a lifted Atom.
Yeah, it's an up and Atom, if you will.
I like that a lot. Simpsons joke.
Yes. And then let's see. I believe it was a Land Rover, and I think Spinelli had a Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, something like it was the crazy Nomad, a luxury SUV, and then something in the middle, right? Basically, is the idea,
yeah.
right? And I know Zach put a shit ton of miles on this Nomad.
Yes, they drove like all over Oregon doing this shoot, and I don't know if I'm spoiling things or not, so I'm going to stop my mouth there.
Well, it's out, right? The episode's aired.
Yeah, that's a good point. They did.
Was there a specific objective or something they were measuring?
I mean, they were basically just making their way through Oregon off-road as much as they could.
To see who, what's the better way to do it, right?
And here's where I'm a little thinking. There were legal issues that arose on a ranch, but I don't know how much of that was left into the final one or not. Because
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got it. But the episode aired, they drove a shit ton of miles, and Zach loved it and hated it.
Yes, and Zach will be back on as soon as you can line it up. That poor guy is in the air more than pretty much anybody else I know at this point.
He's a busy cat, shooting all the stuff for JF and all this stuff. But I was very happy to see that Zach got promoted to screen time because he's one of the funniest dudes out there.
It's well past due.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And Kristen Lee was in this season, which is good for her.
Yep,
she did some good stuff. So I know of the episodes, I just haven't watched them yet, basically.
I think I may have a link to the screeners, so we'll share afterwards.
And then speaking of other shows, car shows, the Grand Tour Season 3 trailer came out, and it actually looks pretty fucking good.
Oh, they're gonna do a great job.
I mean, the footage is obviously majestic. It shows like one of the first shots of the trailer or teaser trailer. I don't know, whatever it is. I think it was a trailer. Is Hammond in like an 80s American truck. It looks like he's somewhere in South America on a rickety bridge way high in the air with no guardrails and no supports and inching his way across. And it's like tight shot, helicopter shot. You're just like, all right, this is like some good old school Top Gear-y shit. So it looks pretty good.
They were in China for a while for that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe it was there, then they shot that.
I should probably also mention that I was in a super secret documentary that just premiered a few weeks ago, actually, by a man by the name of Alex Winters, if you know who that is.
Like Bill and Ted?
As in Bill and Ted. He's been a big shot documentary director for years and years now, and we were all NDA'd out on all that. But yeah, there's a documentary out now called The Trust Machine, narrated by Rosario Dawson, and my company, Guardian Circle, is one of the key focuses in it. It's basically a documentary on how blockchain technology is changing kind of finance and governance stuff across the world.
That has nothing to do with cars, but it is very fascinating.
But yeah,
Alex Winters is awesome.
Yeah, Alex is awesome. He is excellent, if you will. I don't know.
He should go to Radwood. I mean, that if anybody needs to go to Radwood now,
the poor man would blow his brains out at a certain point.
Maybe he might love it. He might love it.
He'd have a hard day.
He might love it.
Judging from like our friends that are like quasi celebrity level that are there that get bugged.
Why would he not like it?
He would be swamped.
I feel like people would leave him alone. People would be like, there's people who show up. So like we're friends with Matt. There's people who have never met Matt who like geek out on him being like a major car celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And like everybody's pretty calm about it. And I think some people would be more excited to meet Matt than Alex Winter. They might not even know Alex Winters.
No. Alex, he's an older version of Bill.
Oh,
but he still very much looks like Bill.
All right.
And
especially LA. LA kind of like gets celebrity culture, you know? To a degree.
I was with Jason Camisa at the end of it. It was wrapping up. We were talking some podcast stuff, and there is a definite creep factor with certain people that get there. Like, and I've seen it before with being out with Matt, and Zach got a little bit of it at this time too, to where like people just don't want to let you go, and this guy bugging Jason to be like, "So I want to come back to your house and talk to you for a while."
Oh,
and like the guy had to be physically removed from the premises. So. Yeah, weirdos happen. So if you're going to Radwood, don't be weird.
I didn't see any of that because I'm nobody, so that's good. No, Radwood was great. I'm gonna segue into Radwood now. It was this past weekend in LA. They did a great venue in the Peterson. You didn't make it out, did you?
I did not. I was
you even
gutted.
have a Radwood era car. Wait, what year's your car?
97.
97 Jeep Cherokee.
You would have made it.
I
gotta
know.
get
I was
it done.
gutted not to go.
You got to get it done.
I really wanted to be there.
We're gonna get to your Jeep in a minute because I'm gonna pose questions out to people about your Jeep and your plan and like what they think you should do.
It could be a great idea. It could be a terrible idea. I just don't know.
Yeah, Radwood. I really liked the venue. I thought the Peterson was great.
It was.
There was plenty of room to walk around, and it felt successfully crowded, if that makes sense. Where it was like great cars, great people. You didn't feel squished. If you got bored of the show for a minute, you could go into the Peterson.
In the parking garage, the whole thing?
It was the top 2 floors of the parking garage.
Yep.
It's a big garage.
It is. There's plenty of room for it.
Yeah.
And I would say just the right amount of room, actually, because had it been any more cars, it would have started to get a little too crowded up top there.
Yes, definitely. And there was some repeat vehicles. Only a few repeat vehicles.
There were no less than 3 Countaches at the end of the show.
There were 3 Countaches.
Yes.
Matt's Countach was there. James Chen, who owns a wheel company, was there.
And then some dude in a black one rolled up.
Yeah, like kind of like a ratty one almost. I didn't see that one. That one
didn't look that
ratty.
I didn't get that close to it either.
Maybe just the other 2 were like flawless.
Musto and I were completely geeking out on this.
Conquest.
It was no, it was a Shelby Daytona.
Oh, there was a Daytona.
There was a Daytona that was, what was that had been, like a 92 or something like that?
Maybe.
And that's of course a front wheel drive vehicle. This had been converted to rear wheel drive and had a 6.4 liter Hemi in it.
I thought it was 6.1.
Might have been. I could be wrong. Either way, it had a Hemi.
It had a Hemi.
And a manual transmission, and the swap looked like it came from the factory.
Way. Everybody was geeking on that car.
Amazing. And then somebody had also managed to shove a 1JZ into, I think it was an 84 Corolla.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we didn't spot it until the very end. And again, it looked factory minus 1 hose clamp that was clear, like they had no choice but to use that.
I loved there was this like period correct late 90s Tacoma pre-runner, or actually trophy truck basically. Oh my God, the colors were on it were awesome. Like you could tell that the suspension was of the era, so like not as much travel as today, but that it was a full race truck that they used to run Baja in. It was it used to be class 7.
It would have been awesome if they like rigged it out with like an old Proflex mountain bike in the back too.
I know, right?
No,
but it had
everything period correct.
It had like new low rants in it, but everything else was legit. I forget, they told me the motor, but it was a full race motor, and I can't remember exactly what race motor was. The truck was badass.
The Nordica Volvo took best livery because the driver was wearing matching clothing.
Nice.
And then let's see, a Firebird Formula that was in immaculate condition won best domestic.
Nice.
How was the EB 110? Wasn't there
there was a Bugatti EB 110, but I think it came from the museum.
Yeah, I think so.
It was gorgeous. It was stunning. It was just sitting right there by the entrance to the museum.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I think it came from the museum. I'm guessing on that. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't think it came as a.
Honda and Acura supported the show. Acura had their real-time Integra race car out there, which was, people were losing their minds on that. They had a concept car, and then they had an original Type R, and then they let journalist Stephen Ewing from Motor One drive a Honda Civic Si to the show. It's the EM1, so in 1999, I think it's called Electron Blue Pearl for the Civic Si. But it's, when he got to the show, it had 790 miles on it, and they're like, "Yeah, take it for the week."
Nice.
They gave it, he had to leave the next day, and they're like, "Just drop it off at the airport," because I mean, it's a Civic, but it's a pretty amazing Civic.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess to Honda corporate, they're just like, whatever.
Yeah, they're like, try not to ding it up, but yeah, it's still just a Civic. I was talking to someone tonight about that car, and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, we figure if we keep it under 1,000 miles, it's still good." But, all right, good for you. They started loaning it out or using it during events when it had about 400 miles on it. So yeah, good for them.
So wait, what's special about it? If it's a
the 99 to 2000 Civic is the famous EM1 coupe. They only made it for 2 years. The engine revs to about 8,000 RPM. It's like one of the greatest front driver cars I've ever driven.
Yeah.
It had a cool shape, very clean Civic coupe lines. They made
It's the exact opposite of the current Civic R.
Type R, yeah. It was understated, simple, but a shit ton of fun. the engine code is B16A2. It's this great, just high revving. It had a very clear VTEC changeover, so you're at like 5,000 RPM or something like that. It's like whoa, bah, like the
cam profile is
Yeah.
hugely
yeah.
different.
I had a super ratty one
Yes, you
with
did.
an intake, and then the intake amplified the VTEC changeover. It was that
And the best part of yours, though,
nitrous.
you had nitrous. on it
Yeah,
as well.
but the
You
nitrous was
did.
dumb. I only used it once or
Yes,
twice.
But sometimes the dumb is
Oh, yeah.
just, because that car was like literally almost worthless at that point.
Yeah, I got
and
it
that
for
was
free.
amusing.
Yeah, I got it for free. And it was like a 50 shot of nitrous, and it was a full throttle application, not like Fast and Furious button on the steering wheel. It was like you're at full throttle, and then it would come on. So like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It felt like was that it made the VTEC louder. Like that's all it felt like it did. But that car was a ton of fun. So to see a crazy clean example was pretty cool. I just found out that they made a version similar. It's basically the same engine in the UK. They have a full 5-door wagon called the VTS. So it's the Civic VTS. It's it's not a hatchback. It's like a wagon, 5-door wagon.
Mhm.
They made a
And
version.
a state car.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's true. They
Mhm.
made a version called the VTSI, and they only made 500 wagons, and it's only in this color called Pirates Black or something like that. I think it was called Pirates Black, which is kind of purpley in the sun. And so B16A2, so same Civic Si engine. They made 500 of them, so even more rare. And I just found out about this car, and then you go, and I tweeted about it, like I'd never seen this car before. It's amazing. It's a Civic Si wagon. And an English journalist was like, yeah, you can find them over here. They're like, even though they made 500, they're for sale, and they're like a few thousand pounds.
The great thing is though, with working on Hondas are like Lego pieces. They just click and fit together, and like wiring harnesses are usually really easy to swap stuff in and out of. So like if you wanted to build one of those for some crazy reason,
Right.
you could do that super easily.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I like about working on Hondas is they're very modular.
Yeah.
Probably the most of any of the major manufacturers.
Now let's jump over to your rad Jeep. Did you drive it here tonight?
I did, yeah. It's outside.
97?
97.
97.
97, 2-door Cherokee, Cherokee XJ Sport. Yeah, 5-speed.
97. It's
97.
old enough to party this year, huh?
5-speed.
Old enough to party this year.
5-speed.
Yeah, it was the first model year of the new body style.
Now, so how long have you had it?
Since the beginning.
Oh,
My brother and I kind of traded off on it, but
did it come from like the parents, then they gave it to you, or you
no. I bought
new?
in,
What did those
in
run back?
97.
Okay,
What did those run back then? Do you remember?
No idea.
$13,000. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows?
It came with the upcountry suspension package, which was like
don't even know what it is anymore.
I don't. It should lift.
What? How many
Shocks.
miles are on it?
182 or something, right around there.
So I want to dive into this because you have a plan for this. So you've now
Yeah.
been in the world of trucks for a bit.
Yes.
You've wet your beak. You've actually
Yes.
pre-run Baja
Yes.
with one of your hosts. So tell them your overarching goal or dreams for the truck. Like you have a budget.
Yeah.
and what do you want to see happen?
10
Say
years.
the budget too.
10K. Keep it under 10K. Long arm. Maybe like a 4-inch lift. Probably 32s. Some new gears for the diff. Probably some Jeep speed unibody. Frame stiffeners and things like that, just to really make it supported. A little bit on the interior to bring it up to something like what stock was,
Right.
and probably paint.
Okay. So
Bumpers front and rear, but that's,
yeah. Now
all
there's
that
going to be
stuff.
people who are going to be like, no, keep it stock. But you've had it
Nah.
this long. You've enjoyed it for years stock. You've had it since the beginning.
doesn't need to be stock.
I say go for it. Right?
That, and it's not like it's some rare car.
No.
where,
No.
You know,
Right.
Well, when was the last time you've seen a 2-door 5-speed extra?
Jeeps may as well just be like generic things on
Yeah.
wheels for me. It's not that
Yeah.
I don't respect them. It's just they're not in my headspace at all. So unless it's like an SRT8 where I'm like, oh, that's cool, I don't pay attention.
They have started popping up on Bring a Trailer regularly, which is
Yeah, but they're still behind the vintage classic, cool
Yeah,
SUV.
I mean, I'm joking because they are everywhere.
Everybody wants FJs are the hot ticket right now. They're the price, which bums me out because I wanted one. I wanted an FJ 60 or 62. Prices are boop. I missed my boat there. Cherokees could be next. I think we're probably a few years out from that, like somewhere between 3 and 5 years out, for people going, oh, Cherokees are still cheap and
Yeah.
diving in.
Well,
So
they designed a race series for them called Jeep Speed, which started sucking them up a little bit.
interesting. I
Yeah.
hadn't heard of that.
But the great thing about it is they're very light. They're very light. So if you get a
Well,
little extra power,
I think
they can be a
David
lot
Tracy
of fun.
at Jalopnik is probably dismantling them piece by piece for
Right,
his own
yeah.
supply.
He's driving them into his own lawn at this point. So $10,000. It's funny.
Yeah.
You worry that that's not enough, and I say that is ton.
Well, if you include paint, it just seems like it's not
Well,
enough.
Paint
that's
can get
different.
expensive.
That's different.
Yeah,
Why do you
yeah.
need paint if you're about to go bash it?
Dude, it's got that California. I mean,
Fix-
it's destroyed.
Fix the rust. If there's rust,
There's no rust.
okay, then
A little bit on the roof line where
don't
the
worry
rack
about it.
scratches, but
Don't worry about it then. Like,
Yeah.
who cares about the paint? Paint should be the last priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Or wrap it.
it could go full derelict.
Wrap
Yes,
it.
yes, I was thinking about wrapping.
Wrap it, because then if you off road, you beat it up. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Then
that
wrap
or
it.
at the very least, like go like put all your stuff on it and take it off road once before you do any kind of cosmetic stuff on it. So like you're not heartbroken if you take a car that you just finished out and put a big ass scratch in.
or even like Earl Scheib or Mako, because you're gonna fuck the paint up anyway. So
Yeah.
you get a good like 10-footer paint job. You're like, oh, that looks good. That's a fresh paint job. And then when you go scratch, you go, I don't give a shit. That was a $600 paint job. Who cares?
And then some. This is a controversial one because some people like it for its practicality and some people hate it because of what it is. But rhino lining on the body panels because it's pretty much indestructible off road.
It is. I
Yeah.
just don't like the look.
It's
I get it. I totally
It's
get
a
it.
thing.
Practical.
To see people. Yeah.
I totally get it. It's not for me
How have
But I
we
get
not created an automotive coating better than just paint or vinyl wraps at this point?
because they work.
2018.
They work,
and we're
though.
still fucking painting body panels.
I thought
Yeah.
about just a ton of Plastidip on it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know why we
Don't
don't
do
just
that.
have like
That'd be
plastic
awesome.
shells over things at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody's working. Somebody somewhere is like, I do that. That's what I do. That's my thing. Should I patent this?
At which point PPG's silent assassin goes and takes them out.
Okay, now moving to our own vehicles, Chris, I want to talk. How's your fleet doing?
Good. I got the the Porsche got hit almost as soon as I got back
Yeah.
from SEMA.
That sucks.
I went to the store and somebody piled right into the back of it, and I came out and I was like, "Oh, well,
How bad
fuck
was it?
everything." They took out the back bumper and
Took it out?
Oh,
Like it wasn't just pushed in.
it was like ripped off. And,
Jesus.
I don't even know how they did it. It parking lot speed, like it was a skillful removal.
No frame damage.
No, like actual
Just the right angles to rip body
to
work
rip it off and
Okay.
then fuck up one of the exhaust tips. And as it turns out, the exhaust tips on a Macan are $650 a piece
Jesus Christ.
because Porsche.
Of course they are.
Welcome to.
Yeah,
There
I
you
know.
go.
I thought the Corvette tax was bad.
No, you're gonna learn today.
It's pretty bad, but not that bad.
Did they leave the same?
Oh yeah, they left.
Asshole.
And then I go into the store and I'm like, "Do you guys keep cameras?" They're like, "No, because we don't want to answer to people like you."
Yeah, right. Oh, the Porsche guy wants us to check the videotape. Yeah, no, we're good there.
Yeah.
That sucks. Is it fixed?
Yeah, it's fixed. It's
Okay.
fine now. So that was all taken care of. And then otherwise, the
Fiesta's gone, right?
no Fiesta's here because
For some reason, I thought
I
that was
keep
gone.
getting ready to sell it, and then something comes up with like work, or I got sick and wasn't able to work on it.
Right.
But the goal is this weekend to finish the last two little things on it. Like none of this has even been major work. It's just been a matter of time.
Sure.
So it's just a matter of finishing the paint treatment I did on it, and then taking care of wheel spacers, and then it's done. So
And vet, nothing, just still
that I am.
back burner still.
I'm actually accumulating parts for build right now.
What?
Okay.
What is the vet? What year?
It's a 2008. I've had it since it was new. It's got a lot of suspension work on it, and headers and a tune. The motor otherwise is untouched. I am doing a big brake system upgrade. That's the first thing that's happening. But I've got bushings. I've got new dampers, for coilovers and all that stuff. So it's going from kind of a streetish to low levelish track build to kind of a mid-level track build now.
Yeah.
So Yeah, so that's what's going to be happening with that. Although, given what I'm kind of watching with the economy, I'm being a little hesitant about spending a lot of money at the moment. So we'll see.
All right. On my front, I broke something on my Mercedes. So we're gonna back up because, like I said, it's been a bit since we've been together. My W114 Benz sedan, my rheostat was precarious. And for those of you who don't know what a rheostat is a potentiometer that varies resistance of an electrical current, and it sits on the back of a gauge cluster. Look, I sound like I know what I'm
A
talking
rheostat
about.
is actually it can be
piece
any
of shit. Is what it is.
A rheostat can be actually any knobby turny thing.
Okay. Well, this one on the back of the Mercedes gauge cluster into the back of the video gauges is you adjust it and it dims your lights, basically. It dims the lights in your gauge cluster.
Those are two entirely different explanations of what a rheostat is.
So, well, it's varying the resistance, and that's how much power and powers your lights, basically. So mine was shitty because they get old and the surfaces get dirty and this and that.
Yeah, they oxidized, and then
Yeah.
the resistance on those components is different from what it originally was calibrated for. So it's like, I don't know what to do.
And I just had no dash lights. I had a guy adjust it. He's like, do not touch anything. If you hit a bump, your dash lights could go out. I'm like, all right, that's granted, fair, I take it. And eventually they did go out. And it sucks to not have dash lights. So I bought a new rheostat and I put it in and I was screwing it in. And there's these two posts that slide it on, but then there's this long pole that sticks out. And that goes into the knob you turn to adjust the rheostat in the back. So like on the outside of the gauge cluster, when you twist it, that's what you try to adjust your dimness in. If you don't line that up perfectly and you're screwing it down, you're like, you know what, I'm going to screw this in to seat it and get it to sit in place. No, like you would other parts. I do that and I hear a snap and I go, huh, and I keep screwing and I'm like, and then I hear like something fall loose. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I unscrewed it, take it out. I totally snapped a plastic piece that holds it in, it lines up, and I broke my brand new rheostat. It's like, motherfucker. So I take the old rheostat just to put it back on in place, just to have a rheostat sitting there knowing it doesn't work. And as I'm putting that one in, I do the same exact thing. You cannot tighten it to seat it. It has to be sitting and then you tighten it. So I was super fucking pissed, but also laughing because I was
And how much are the rheostats on those?
Over 100, 140, 150 bucks. This is a little piece of nothing. Come to find out, a quick fix that a lot of these Benz guys do is they're like, just turn that knob on your dash like 50 times and it like cleans the oxidation off and you kind of get your dash lights back, which is a common thing. And they're just kind of okay and you kind of live with it. So the other thing to do is to ditch the rheostat and bridge the gap between the two poles that come out the back of the gauge cluster.
And that'll give you 100% light all the time.
You can't adjust it, but it doesn't matter because you want them at 100% anyway, because it's not like it's this big, beautiful, bright gauge cluster.
Yeah.
So what I was going, some people solder it. What I did was took a wire with alligator clips. I took thankfully the gauge cluster comes out really easily on that car. Mm-hmm. Like it's not held in with screws. It's kind of just press fit in place. And then you have to do speedo cable, 2 electrodes, power, and then oil pressure. And it slides out. So that's nice. I took a wire with alligator clips. So on the back, it's the most ghetto fix on the back of the gate. But if a future owner wants to take that off, so I didn't solder anything. If he wants to put in a rheostat and make it original, it's 2 alligator clips, 1 wire. It's sitting on the back of the gauge cluster and then like rubber banded to another piece so the excess wire doesn't fall out. And it fucking works. It works great. I have full dash lights.
If you want, because I've got my full like pro soldering electrical rework gear, we can put a modern rheostat on there so that it doesn't have those issues.
I'm happy with that.
I'm just offering that. Like, it's a very easy thing that we could do here in like an hour.
Right.
That if you want to, we can totally do that properly.
Maybe we will. But I also like that I left it reversible back to stock if someone so wanted.
Yes.
But I'm very happy to report that I broke something and then fixed something.
Work around.
Yeah.
I'm going to say fixed.
No, it's fucking fixed. In the Hooniverse, that is fixed. It works. They look great. They're bright. I can read them. I'm happy. Car's running well and all that stuff. And it's ready. It's it's almost time to list it for sale. So it's about, we're getting to that time. We're getting.
I
to
don't know
time.
that
I
I'd
don't
be
want to keep putting
advertising
money-
these fixes right before you put it.
No,
for
no,
sale.
no, no. That's my thing with this car.
Yeah.
I never want to get. I am going to walk
know.
you through too much things when I sell you a car. I'm going to be like, I would do that. I would do that. I would do that. So that when you leave, there's never a, what about this?
So if you're about to jettison that vehicle, what are the plans going on with other vehicles?
Well, it's supposed to, it's the Wombat has not officially started yet because they've just been busy with the holiday seasons and some other cars got in the way. It was supposed to happen this week. I'm hoping it happens next week. I'm going to the shop.
And where is
The
it right
initial
now?
money has been paid. So this isn't a case of me hoping to get this work done like it was in the last one. There's money being spent here. It's going to happen now.
And where is it residing right now?
It's at the shop.
Yeah, but where's the shop?
Oh, like fucking I could walk to the shop from my house. It's
Oh,
that
okay.
close. It's in Lake Forest. OC Car Inc. I think that's their Instagram handle. You should go look them up. They do mostly like hot roddy stuff. They're also looking to do like they want to try to get into some more European stuff too. So if you have a European car in Orange County, hit me up if you're looking for somebody for some mods. Like they're looking to expand beyond street cars, muscle cars. Hold on, we have someone commenting on my fix. Thomas West. That sounds like something of the electrical engine. That sounds like something some of the electrical engineering majors at my school do. At least your solution is not irreversible, unlike some of my friends. Thank you, Thomas West. I'm very proud of my fix. So if you have a car that you're looking to get some tuning shit done in Orange County, hit me up because I'd love to direct business to the shop for helping me out. They just haven't got to my car yet because a bunch of shit got in the way. Then you have the holidays. Then you have some workers get sick. There's plenty of excuses, but I get it. This time of year sucks for that shit.
What did you pay for them to do?
I'm not going to give dollar amounts, but
No.
basically
Now what's the
to start-
quantity? You paid them money to do what?
to start the project, to like get it up on the lifts. We already have an engine sourced. We have an LS sourced, so an LS3 sourced. So we're just waiting to get it on the lift, to get it and start lining shit up and see what it's going to take. If it's going to be under his initial estimate, over his initial estimate, and we'll go from there. And then
What
the
year is your
second-
car again?
Which one?
The Wombat.
84.
Okay. So you're keeping factory manifolds and everything on that then, I'm assuming.
No, all the original engine shit's gone.
No, but I mean from the LS motor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The LS we're getting was a crate engine that was in a hot rod and has very low mileage, and the guy wrecked the hot rod and the engine is fine. So this is like the turnkey package that you would
The
with, like,
E-Rod.
I don't think it's an E-Rod.
Yeah.
But it might be an E-Rod. Like no one has said, but it is an LS3
Mhm.
with the throttle pedal and the key and the harness and all that shit.
Right.
Like as if you bought it from GM with like, I guess, super low miles, and the number is fantastic for all of it. It might not have a trans, but a trans is. I'm not.
GM to get
Right.
a 4L60E or
Yeah,
a
I'm not worried.
4L80E is
I'm not worried at
$1,200 for a good
all.
one.
So it's basically the initial payment was to start the work and start diving into it, and then we're gonna get to a point where they're like, all right, we're here. We need to get here. It's gonna cost this, and that's when I'm like, all right, cool. Bye bye W114. So we're called the Wombat, but I was thinking it'd be funny. So it's a W123. I think it'd be kind of funny to call it a WLS3.
Yeah. Didn't we also call? Didn't we spitball the pork chop one night or something like that?
I don't know. That might have been for something else. We decided to call Jason Connor's car. We decided this at Radwood to call it Karate Kid, just because I don't know why I find this funny. I find when people talk about cams and the noise that cams make, like
Oh God.
chop. So Jason likes to talk about. So if you don't know Jason Connor, friend of Hooniverse, he's been on here a bunch. Shot up some videos for us. He bought a C5 Z06.
Yeah.
In Speedway white, lovely car.
I think it was a 2002.
I think it's a 01.
Either way.
It's a very early one. And
It was a Texas car, so it was all Texas
all
out.
Texas out.
Yeah.
And it has an aggressive cam, and they talk about the chop, and I find that so funny. I don't know why. Like, listen to the chop. I love the chop. We were joking about it at lunch. So so his car is so much chop, we're calling it Karate Kid.
So when they talk about the chop, what does that mean?
Like the lopiness of it. Like, so if it's an aggressive duration or angle on the cam, it's like blah 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 blah.
So
blah. It's chop.
a very hard
if
sound.
you had
Yeah.
a Skyline with an aggressive cam, would it be a Miyagi then?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Jason's car is Karate Kid, and I fucking love it.
Or I'm just gonna call it Ralph Macchio.
You could do that too. Either way, I don't know why Chop is hilarious to me. So that's where we are. We fixed something on the Benz. The thing is, I don't want to keep putting money into it, which I didn't on this fix. Clearly, it was an AutoZone fix. But I really, really, really want to get paintless dent repair on it. I really want to get that done. The dents bug the shit out of me.
It's not worth it if you're selling it.
I know it isn't. And I look at the rear of the headliner, and it bugs me. And
we had talked about paintless when you first bought the car, but I mean, if you're gonna get rid of it, it's not worth it, man.
I know.
What is it? What would it cost to do the paintless?
I mean, it could be as low as 500 on up to who the fuck knows.
For the stuff that, I mean, if I had to ballpark from like what I've had done on paintless work before and like what Jeff needs, probably between 900 and 1500.
That's probably more realistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to throw that much more at the car. You know,
you won't get that much more value out of it
Right.
if you put it into it.
Right. I won't.
What's the timeline on the Wombat?
That's a fantastic question. I mean, now we're into December, so nobody works in December. I'm hoping they crush a bunch of work in January on the car. I want to be driving it by spring.
I'm gonna guess that you will have it in your hands at the end of March.
I like that date. I'm gonna say that's optimistic, but but in the back of my head, it's like, please God, give me the car by then, you know? And I don't think it will be finished in terms of my final vision for the car by then. I think it'll be running and driving by then, which is my goal one. Goal 2 is then Safari and paint and wheels. I already have wheels lined up.
You can't Safari anymore, though.
I've been wanting to Safari this car for years.
I know you have been, but the problem is Safari is going to be played out tomorrow.
I don't care.
What? So
I've wanted it before they did it, and I'm not going to let my goal of having this thing be Safari'd change.
What exactly are you going to do for the Safari? What is it exactly?
I think the direction for the suspension is that Bilstein makes a rally spec suspension that's basically just a slightly taller suspension. It's like what's in Matt's car. It's not a super rally ready suspension, but it gives your car a lift and lets you go do fun things. And it's Bilstein, so it's not going to be crazy expensive. By comparison, I drove the Michello's Classics Safari 911, which had a $15,000 KW fully adjustable suspension, which was fucking bananas. The Bilstein's nowhere near that. It's just you're replacing your suspension. Like, it's not coil over. You're just giving yourself a little bit more lift. So I just want a little bit more lift. And then I know which wheels I want. I want the Motegi MR 139s. I'm going to look that up. So it might be the 135s. I'm sorry, Josh, if I'm getting the wheels wrong. And then KO2s, which will also get you a taller tire. So we're going from 14-inch wheels to 15-inch wheels.
What is the model designation? What's the actual model number on that car as it is right now?
On my wagon?
Yeah.
It's a W123 300 TD. Is that what you're looking for?
Okay. Yeah, but like, what was the actual branding on it?
300 TD.
So it's a 300 TD?
Yeah. 300 and then TD turbo diesel.
What if it was a WLA 62 AMG?
WLA? Oh, well, yeah. I mean, any AMG engine would be great, but I'd see W123 is the generation tag.
I say WLA. It would be, instead of the W123, the W Los Angeles 6.2 AM.
I don't want anything LA on my car. Fuck LA. These are the wheels I'm going to do, I think. I'm going to try to get them not in gold, though, in bronze. Actually, Jason and I are talking about, not Jason, Josh and I, who's getting me the wheels, Josh Ostrander, more maybe a desert tan.
See, I've already got my I have a set of Z06 wheels out right now that are getting powder coated bronze.
So, and then the car is just gray, like Mercedes gray, and I'm gonna do a vintage green. I want to do a color that exists in the Mercedes family. It's called moss green metallic. That's what I'm leaning towards, which is a nice dark green. So then either bronze or desert tan wheels on that.
You have to go green.
I'm going green, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely going green.
And then a really nice, luxurious dark brown leather interior.
No, I'm not touching the interior. I'm leaving
bunch of extra lights.
I'm gonna do some lights if I can find them. I mean, yeah.
Dude,
so
yeah,
that's
you have to. I mean, that's the one thing I've been very spoiled on any cars. I won't deal with shitty lights anymore. Light conversions on it.
Oh no, I mean like aux lights on the wagon. But yeah, the lights on my 114 are LED and they're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like full sealed beam, 8-inch rounds, plug and play. Not dealing with like bullshit LED bulbs in old school housings or HIDs and that crap. No,
Yeah.
these are, I still think I need to aim them. So sorry, everybody. But yeah.
Well, to be fair, the LEDs are bright, but it's not as blinding as like an HID setup. So you're probably not that bad.
Right. I'm a little high. But it feels like everybody out there has their high beams on anyway, so they
Well,
can
and
all go to
everybody drives an
fucking
SUV
hell.
or a crossover at this point anyway. So.
Right. So I'm just aiming for my space back up
It's
there.
like there's no way the lights on my Fiesta are proper, but it's so small that nobody cares because it doesn't interfere with anybody.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So-
There you go. Some quick vehicles that I've driven because it's been a while. I drove the I-Pace. I spent a week with the Jag I-Pace.
The Apache.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I could see having an EV. I could totally see
What
it.
did you like about it?
It was, I think it looks cool from most angles, not all angles. It felt futuristic. It was put together, and I'm talking about a Jag here. It was put together better than the Model X. Didn't have as much range. It has as much as the base like Model X 75 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, but that Tesla is 10 grand more. It felt special to drive. The torque is awesome. 510 pound-feet of torque.
Mhm.
From zero. It was comfortable.
Hey man, I like the Bolt a lot too when I had it. They're
It was
perfect
cool.
for city cars. They're perfect city cars.
I really liked it. I wish I had a plug at home. I didn't charge it at home.
I'm surprised you don't have an outlet in your garage?
No, I don't have one that could work for that. Nope. I
You want it?
have regular old outlets.
It won't do. You can't trickle charge it over 110.
No. It needed a 220 outlet,
Okay.
and I do not have one in my garage
Okay.
because it's a detached. Well, it's below. Like if I think I was in the 2-car garage because they have laundry out there, so
Yeah.
I would have an outlet for that. But I found there's a shitload of level 2 chargers, and I went to one by mistake. I assumed level 2 was like, oh, this is fast charging, and I plug it in, and it says right on the dash, this will be charged in 13 hours. I'm like, nope, this isn't right. So I
No.
Google level 3, or I use the app. So I had to stick to charge point because the press car has a charge point thing, so you
Yeah.
can charge for free. And there were a few around me. One of them, the one I used, was at a Honda dealership. Pull in, and they're used to seeing other non-Honda things there. But a couple of salesmen were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I tried other level 3 chargers. There was one close to the Spectrum in Irvine, but one of them was down. One of them just wouldn't work at all, wouldn't read the card. It's funny though, on the ChargePoint app, there's feedback people can leave. Like they'll be like, this one sucks. ChargePoint hasn't fixed this one. They'll say all that. This one constantly gives faults. So it's really interesting to read that. So I went back to the Honda dealership one. One day it was fine, but then I drove it hard, so I needed to go back the next day, and it kept giving me faults and timeouts and faults and timeouts, and I was getting fucking pissed. So I just went home and I said, I'll find another one or come back to another one. I still had like 40 miles of range, but anxiety starts to set in a little bit. But the thing was, if I owned an EV, I would have a level 2 at home, and I would just charge it overnight when I needed it.
What is the difference?
Well, it's just amperage. It's
Level 2.
Well, level 2 gets you
In minutes.
It's
What
a
is the
220. It's a
Okay.
220. Well, it depends on the size of the battery,
Okay.
and it depends on the charging system in the car. But generally speaking, like a general 110-volt outlet, like you have in a standard house, is going to be like 15 to 20 hours to charge most cars.
Yeah.
Quote unquote level 2, which is like a 220 amp, we'll charge it in 7 to 10, and then beyond there it goes up and up. Like the new Porsche / VW Auto Group system, the 800 volt version, that will charge a car like to 90% within, I think it's 25 minutes or something like that.
Something like that.
Um,
This one is supposed to get on a level 3, the average level 3, which what I found was 50 kilowatts, whereas a level 2 is 6 kilowatts or whatever, like
Yeah.
the juice flowing back out. It's supposed to get to 80%. Everybody measures to 80 because battery charging exponentially gets slower from 80 to 100. Like it's different for all of them. So
it's the physics of how a lithium battery pack works.
So the standard metric for everybody is from like 0 to 80. And this will get 0 to 80 it was like it was over 30 minutes where pretty much everybody's at 30 minutes, and then this Porsche shit is going to be nuts. They said you can get, it was like 25 miles or 60 miles of range in 4 minutes, which is insane.
Yeah, well, the crazy thing is like the Porsche thing is it's
gonna be
being
faster
so
than filling up
like
with gas.
it's with the whole VW Auto Group charging system that they have. It's not that there's anything revolutionary there. They're throwing more voltage at it, right? Which is just like anybody could have told you, yeah, you're going to be able to charge it faster with more voltage. It's just a matter of they're launching it on high-end vehicles to start with, and they're just going, well, fuck it. If you want to charge it at this rate, well, then you need to buy the expensive stuff for your place that you're going to charge it, which basically is usually going to mean a bigger,
Because nobody buys level 3 at home, right? Because those are like
no, not
15
you
grand.
can get it on newer. You can get it on newer construction because the problem is that it's most residential power requirements cannot meet the needs of that.
You'd have to be like a rich guy building your own house type of thing.
So you're saying the local grid can't?
It's not that the local grid can't. It's that the wire running from the pole to your house.
The wire to charge. So level 2. The level 2 charger, just to give you an example, is you take it off the stand, you're like, okay, you plug it in. When you pick up the level 3 charger, the wire is like this thick around. And when you plug it in, it's like boom, boom. Like you fucking hear the energy flowing.
Yeah.
It's
and the auxiliary coolers for the battery system will kick on in the car and everything to make sure it stays cool while it's charging.
Yep.
That's how much energy it's pushing. But like new construction, and I think California is even mandating this to where you have to be able to have up to a level 3 charging capacity in the houses. Which
having a level 3 in your house would be crazy. Like you don't even need it.
Well, the crazy thing is it's not that obscene. It's basically like taking older construction and just doubling the electrical capacity of the house.
Yeah.
But as we have more and more solar and everything coming on in these houses, all this stuff is being upgraded to accommodate that anyway.
But the thing too, like as we have more and more range, you don't even need to plug it in every night. Like if I had a plug at home, I wouldn't even plug it in every night, and then you can monitor it so like you only charge on off-peak hours and all that stuff.
Or if you like me, where you live within this confines of the city, like a lot of driving in a day's time is 60 miles.
Yeah,
my dad just bought a Volt 2 months ago, and he charges it at work. He lives in an apartment down on the beach, and he charges it at work. It costs him like $3 to charge it there.
Yep.
It's.
I liked it. The I-Pace was great. Did you see the Audi at the LA Auto Show?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Holy shit! Yeah. Why would you buy a Model S?
I don't know why you buy
that's a good
I don't know why you buy a Taycan.
Yeah, well, I think the Taycan has bigger range specs.
It does, but I think the Audi's better looking.
That Audi e-tron GT is fucking impressive. You know what was also impressive at the LA Auto Show? Since we're talking about EVs, if they can deliver the Rivian, very impressive.
Okay.
The truck, did you see it?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. So the Rivian is the newcomer. The R1T is the truck. The R1S is the SUV. Pickup truck, fully electric. They're based in Michigan.
And they're the manufacturer.
Yeah,
Rivian. Rivian is the
name of the company. Okay. The specs they're touting. So it's a skateboard chassis, as you'd expect. Fully sealed, so it can wade, up to 3 feet deep or whatever it is.
I have seen some of this stuff before. I'm just not that familiar with it. Yeah.
400. So the top spec battery is 180 kilowatt hours. It's a 180 kilowatt hour battery pack. 4 motors, 1 in each wheel, 147 kilowatt motors. Total output is 750 horsepower. 400 miles on a charge, and then there's some fast recharge times quoted, and then there's this cool pass-through between the bed and the cab. That the doors open on the side and also double as seats. So say you had a snowboard in there, you could then sit on the seat, tie your boots up, like really cool shit like that. The interior looked really nice. The price is I think on the low end is going to be 60 and then up to 100 for the big battery packs. And
the question is, how are you going to market this in a place where like a lot of the truck market is like, fuck those EVs?
Right. No, it'd be here. It'd be here. Because the SUV, it'd be like, I don't want that wacky Tesla with the doors and the stuff like that.
Or the guys that actively roll coal because they think they're owning the libs.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, you're wasting fuel, you idiot.
It's interesting. They're at least 2 years out though. The numbers quoted are, everybody's kind of like, okay.
Tell them to send us a prototype.
A little ambitious to. Good luck to them.
The 2 vehicles they had on the stand are prototypes, but they're running prototypes, and in all their beautiful promo videos, they're driving. So
Is it all private money? Do you know who's funding the company?
no, it's China.
I was gonna say.
I think
okay.
All
it's
right.
China and Saudi,
All right.
Well,
which are the
there's
two who do that.
so here's the thing: is each truck costs one journalist,
Yeah.
and it's electric cars.
Saudi.
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 Yes.
My Audi.
Saudi. No, that's actually how they pronounce it.
Saudis in
Saudis.
Audis.
I have a prediction that I think 30 years down the line, these components to build electric vehicles are largely going to be commodity items all out of China. You're going to be able to buy these things
I agree
a
with
bunch
that.
of different manufacturing shops in like Shenzhen and things like that, and there will be almost no value in terms of IP on electric vehicle parts.
I agree with that.
They're electronics. They'll be commoditized there, and everybody will share their designs, and there will be no value to designing any of that stuff brand new.
Yeah, sure.
So.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, switching gears as we wrap up here, I want to talk about the fact that we are on BlipShift. BlipShift.com/Hooniverse has T-shirts. We just have two colors. It's one design, two colors. We've sold some already, which has been great. So thank you for those of you who bought them. We're going to add more designs soon. This is going to be our for right now permanent merch store. So right now it's just one design. We're adding more designs. I have some stickers I've printed up. There's one of the new site design logos, and then
This will be updated
the other
by
one,
next week.
I know this is small, sorry. So I just made these on my own, but we're adding stickers soon to the blipshift.com/Hooniverse portal, or partner stores they call them. If you have t-shirt designs, I would be interested in hearing about them. I'm always open to new t-shirt designs, and if you help us design one, I'll make sure you get a few of them and some more stuff like that. Somebody has an EV insight. Vikas Patel, I believe Hyundai Kona, which is coming out in January, is going to be revolutionary with 200-mile range. It's actually 258-mile range, but it is actually a fantastic
It's
EV.
an interesting
I've driven
car.
it.
It's an interesting car.
I've driven it. It's really, really good. And the price is fantastic. And I think it could help drive more customers to EVs potentially. So you are right about that.
And it could, if Hyundai really gets out in the lead on this could do a lot in terms of brand share.
Can you upload any future audio only episodes to YouTube? Seems it would benefit the channel, would help me, and I'm sure other people. Oh, so like if we miss, this is a question from Ben. So if we miss doing live streams, you want the audio version to YouTube? We could
I don't
do
see
that.
any reason why we can't do that.
I guess we could do audio only versions to YouTube. Yeah, we can look into it. Is there a reason though that you can't get it on Shout Engine? Is the question, or iTunes?
Or are they just used to consuming stuff via YouTube?
Yes, if you're used to consuming it, yeah, you might be using YouTube on the train or whatever. So we'll check into it, Ben.
The only reason it is the way it is now is because most people just use their podcast apps to get it. That's why.
Right, correct. Email us if you want more answers. Jeff at Hooniverse and Chris at Hayes Data.
Did you want to talk Baja?
I want to save Baja.
If you're
Baja.
going to email me about podcast stuff, do
I want
Chris
to
at
save
Shout
Baja
Engine.
for another episode.
Okay.
I want to bring you back on and talk about
Let's do that.
beer in Baja.
That's
We'll
good.
call that episode Beer in Baja. Because Patrick pre-ran Baja and he's fucking pumped on it, and I'm jealous. Because I wanted
should
to
do it.
just get into the show, and I'm using this as an excuse then to bring you back on for another episode.
That's when we'll form the race team for next year.
Yes, there we go.
Mhm.
Patrick, tell everybody, just give them the gist of the show as we're wrapping up here.
Truck Night. Okay, so Truck Night is a show on History Channel. Every episode, 5 contestants show up. They each bring their own truck. It could be any truck. And they compete in a series of challenges to determine 2 finalists who then race a final course for time. And whoever finishes the fastest or makes it the farthest, because less than 50% finished the course this year, they win and they go home with 10 grand. It's tough. People don't realize how tough. They show up and they break, and then sometimes they fix their stuff on the fly. We have a garage that's all kitted out, so they'll hit the garage twice in the episode to fix anything from electronics to we did basically a full rebuild on a Jeep this season that may or may
Have
not
you had
have gone
any
over.
in-vehicle catheter systems fail?
One time it was very messy.
I was kidding.
One time.
I was kidding. All right.
No, but it's a lot of fun. It's a show
Did you already say the network?
yeah, it's on History Channel.
Sorry, I didn't know.
It's for everybody. We get a lot of fans that are kids. A lot of families like to watch it together. It'll be on at 10 p.m., I believe. Yeah, if you got a truck and you want to run in it, hit us up in the spring sometime, and
So
see what we
line
can
up
get out.
yield DVRs.
Yeah, exactly. Line up the DVRs. There'll be a big announcement in January.
Do you have any idea if that'll be available on their streaming site?
Yeah, the previous episodes are currently available on historychannel.com. If you are a cable subscriber, you can use your login and check them out.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Chris, tell everybody about Shout Engine real quick.
As usual, if you want to do a podcast and want to get into this lovely line of entertainment / absurdity, go to shoutengine.com. We'll get your podcast online real fast, real easy, and you can do it in like literally 2 or 3 minutes. And on that note, there's actually some reorganization going around the corporate structure and Shout Engine and everything, and new stuff to come in the new year.
So if I wanted to start a podcast,
yeah,
give me the what is the 3-step roll? What I need to do?
Okay, so you're going to need to first figure out your subject matter.
Got it.
Okay.
I got the subject.
So
matter.
you got the subject
Yeah.
matter. Procure whatever equipment you're going to do to record the first version of it, right?
Mic and some stuff.
Basic stuff like that. You record that show. Go to Shout Engine. Give your show a name.
So I record a file.
You record a file. You
Yeah.
create an MP3 file. Go to Shout Engine, and you upload. You give the show a name. You create an episode. You give the episode a title. You upload that file, and it's online and ready to submit to iTunes.
So I just go to Shout Engine. I just create a title, create a show, and then so could I do it on like a voice memo and then just like upload it?
Yeah, totally.
So I really don't need anything.
No, and honestly, I tell people this all the time, before you spend a bunch of money getting into podcasting, whether or not you know that if you like it or not, iOS devices, iPhones and iPads actually have fantastic built-in microphones. And if you just want to screw around with it to begin with, it's a great way to start.
So I could sit in my kitchen with a beer, record a file on my iPhone, go to Shout Engine, and then in a few
Upload
clicks
it
have a
there.
podcast and upload.
And submit it to iTunes and have it for the world to get.
Oh, that's great.
As we're closing out, I want to give everybody watching a peek at our new website. This is what the new website is going to look like. I haven't shared a full working version of it. This up here is, you can scroll through. We're going to have some large pictures. See, there's the new logo.
It's a nice looking font.
So this isn't loaded with all the newest articles and stuff yet, but the videos and podcasts. We have a link to the merch. That's what the T-shirt looks like. Hooniverse. We have our Instagram shit up there. It's much fresher, much cleaner, much nicer.
Jeff rocking the Lone Wolf
It's
t-shirt.
just updated. It's just rocking the Lone Wolf T-shirt. We got.
That's a fantastic photo, I have to say.
Right?
Yeah.
That is not my truck, by the way. And then we got to keep some of the old stuff on there. I've got a good photo we have a dedicated podcast page now.
Ooh, fancy.
Speaking of Baja,
Look at that.
there's some cool design stuff we can do for featured style articles in the future. I'll give you guys a quick taste of that. It is in this one. This isn't a real article. This is just like a tease of what. So we can just get a bit more artsy with our stuff. We can do some really cool layouts going forward. So I'm very excited to roll this out. And I wanted to give you guys a peek at it. So there you go. And that's all I've got for this week. So Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, YouTube. You already know where to follow.
Smoke signals to reach me.
Smoke signals for Chris. Yeah.
Because fuck social media.
There you go.
I'm on social media at James Patrick Costello. Instagram.
James Patrick Costello at Instagram. And he has some of his cool Baja photos up there.
Yeah, there's a few.
You do some production photos sometimes, right?
Yeah. Once we're in full show mode, I'll throw on some cool stuff that you won't see on the show there. So.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. Thank you for listening on shoutengine.com.
Yep.
And we'll see you all next week. Adios.
See ya.